Senator, thank you for being here. First, your thoughts on all the news of the last 48 to 72 hours about Trump's very public aligning with Vladimir Putin over President Zelensky.
Well, Nicole, it's just nobody would have predicted it 10 years ago. But sadly, after Donald Trump's first term and the strong arm effort to get dirt from Ukraine on Joe Biden, it's sadly predictable. And you've got multiple things going. Trump pausing military aid to Ukraine, Trump pausing intel sharing with Ukraine, Trump raising questions about NATO, Trump suggesting that Ukraine invaded Russia, Trump suggesting that Zelensky is a dictator. All the signs are pointing in a very dangerous direction. 2 weekends ago, I was in Finland, the newest and most excited member of NATO. They joined because they saw the dangers of Russia, and they embraced the notion of democracies aligning against authoritarians. And I was there on the day that the U.S. was voting with Russia and North Korea in the UN against a Ukraine peace resolution. And they were like, you know, did we join excitedly right as the U.S. is about to pull out the plug on the life support system? And I assured them that was not what Congress wants. That's not what the American public wants. Definitely not what Virginia wants, not what I want. But they had reason to worry. And I know they're even more worried now than they were 2 weeks ago.
I worked in the White House on September 11th. And as allies joined the American effort to respond in Afghanistan, the coalition that was assembled and updated every day with the kind of support our allies were offering was called the Coalition of the Willing. The coalition that's being assembled without the United States of America to boost the democracy in Ukraine is called the Coalition of the Willing. What is it like, especially, you know, being from Virginia, where the Pentagon was hit on September 11th,
right,
to have a coalition of democratic nations called the Coalition of the Willing assemble itself without us?
It's painful. Nicole, one of NATO's 3 commands is in Norfolk, Virginia. And it's not a command that's shrinking. It's a command that's growing. In fact, it's been a leadership command, but we're now developing an operational command so that we can implement NATO actions in the kind of high north, the North Atlantic. And so this is really personal. When I was in Finland, I was there to visit the Virginia National Guard training with the Finnish military in a state partnership program. My Virginia Guard was so excited. The Finns were so proud of the tie. And this isn't just about what we do for Europe. I'll give you an example. Finland has the expertise in the world in icebreakers. We need more of them in the U.S., and we don't really make them. And we've entered into an agreement with Finland and Canada where we can use their icebreaker expertise to help U.S. defense. Finland's buying F-35s made in the United States. It's a U.S. technology that they're paying for, so we can interoperate and provide for defense. So this isn't just about what we do for others. It's also about other nations training with our military to make them better, buying equipment and ammunition and weapons platforms for us, and then helping us develop capacities that we don't have right now.
Let me ask you about the other side of the coin, not just the alignment with Putin, but what's being described as, quote, abuse of our allies. This is new reporting into NBC News about a phone call Donald Trump had with the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Quote, I'm told that the meeting that Trump had with Mr. Trudeau yesterday, again, it was a tag team, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, and the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and I'm told that it was extremely abusive on the part of the president. And everyone is asking themselves the question, how do we deal with this level of irrationality and also this level of abuse? What happens when America, quote, abuses its closest neighbors and allies?
Well, Canada is a close neighbor and ally to, you know, one of the biggest trade partners with the United States. We've been peaceful friends for so very long. Canadians spend a lot of time vacationing in Virginia, and we really love Canadian visitors. But this kind of abuse is just so sophomoric and juvenile. And then you got to ask yourself, who's the big baby here? You know, they have that meeting, and maybe they talk tough to Prime Minister Trudeau, but today Lutnick announces we're backing off on the tariffs yet again. They announced the tariffs, but then they delayed implementation, and now they're backing off once again. They're not backing off out of the kindness of their heart. Trump's backing off of these tariffs because it's a horrible idea economically. They're looking at bad news in the stock market, bad news in inflation. There's Republicans who are going to the White House and saying, we're not going to say it publicly, but this will be a disaster for our farmers and our manufacturers. And so they announced this charitable decision today. We'll back off for the tariffs another month. So they may have talked abusively, but they ended up backing down, not Canada. And they backed down because tariffs are a stupid idea that only hurt Americans.
The Commonwealth is being battered by both the national economic pain, price of eggs is up everywhere, not down, and the very local pain of the indiscriminate chainsaw that Elon Musk likes to wield to the federal government. Tell me what life is like for the fired federal workers in Virginia.
Nicole, it's awful. It's awful. I mean, Virginia has probably the third most per capita federal workers. The full total is probably about 320,000 federal workers in Virginia. And the indiscriminate firings in these agencies hurt Virginia maybe more than most. And I'll tell you who they really hurt. It's a war on veterans. 30% of the civilian workforce is veteran. And a disproportionate share of the probationary, the new employees, are veterans because they career switch from the military into the civilian workforce, and then they are on probation for a year, hence easy for Trump to kick out and fire. So these firings mean that Donald Trump in 6 weeks has fired more veterans than any president in the history of the United States, and he's not done. And can I make it even more pointed? They're going to fire 80,000 people at the VA. We just opened a VA clinic, state-of-the-art, $350 million facility in the Fredericksburg area last Friday. But sadly, the building's nice, but they got a skeleton crew because of hiring freezes and firings, and the fact that a whole lot of people who might want to work with veterans look at it and say, gosh, I don't think this is a good place to go to work right now. And so if you're going to punish veterans by firing them, and then you're going to punish the VA, making it harder for veterans to access services, this is a war on veterans, and they can't claim it's accidental. Donald Trump was president once before. He knows who the federal workforce is. Russell Vought ran the OMB once before. He knows who the federal workforce is. Why would they decide to disproportionately punish people who have worn the uniform of this country?
What's the answer? Why? Well, I mean, the politics are terrible. The public stands with veterans. The military has some of the highest approval ratings of any civic institution, more than the Congress or the media, unfortunately for you and me. But why do you think they're doing this?
All of those things, Nicole, you said are true, but we have a president who has called veterans losers, who called John McCain a loser, who wouldn't visit a military cemetery in Paris, in France, during his first term as president because it gave him the willies to have to go out and visit a military cemetery. This is a guy who has always had a bee in his bonnet about veterans. And listen, our veterans aren't dumb. People can say the nice words, the thanks for your service, but it ain't words, it's actions. Where the rubber meets the road is actions. This firing binge hits veterans harder than any other group in this country, and the VA layoffs into a VA that is already short on personnel is salt in the wound.
I guess we cannot let you go without asking about another previously sacred piece of American politics: kids, students, school-age kids, including school-age kids with any learning difference that have IEPs, that have independent learning programs. Donald Trump is eyeing the elimination of the Department of Education. Your thoughts?
It would be horrible, but you're right. He campaigned on it. I'm on the help committee, Nicole, so when Linda McMahon was before us for her confirmation hearing, I asked, if Donald Trump destroys the Department of Education, who is going to implement the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act? You know, it's not just about dollars that go to states or Title I funds for low-income kids in schools or school nutrition programs. It's not just dollars. Those are probably going to get cut too, but who's going to implement these programs to make sure that the kids are getting the IEPs that mean that they get a high-quality education? And Linda McMahon's answer to my question was, I have no idea. I don't know who's going to implement this. You can talk about sending education back to the states. Yeah, that's where we were before Brown versus Board of Education. The states got to decide, and the states made a hell of a lot of decisions that were really awful. And that's why there needed to be some level of federal supervision over what is still primarily a state and local responsibility. I've been a mayor, I've been a governor. Education is primarily state and local, but at the federal level, it is about modest funding in the overall pie chart of how schools get money, but it is also about oversight and civil rights and efforts to make sure that all kids get a quality education. And the notion that we're going to blow it up without even knowing who's going to enforce the law that gives disabled kids a fighting chance at life success is a very, very frightening thing.